Dreams and plagues, Joseph and Moses in conversation. Scripture often speaks not in isolated episodes, but in harmonies, threads of stories that overlap, contrast, and echo across generations. Joseph and Moses, though separated by centuries, form one of these profound symphonies. Both are called by God. Both enter Egypt, and both become instruments of God's salvation. Yet their paths, their temperaments, and the way God reveals himself to them could not be more different. Joseph is the dreamer. His story begins in the silent shadows of visions, images of sheaves and stars, cryptic messages that even he barely understands. Dreams carry him down into betrayal, slavery, and prison, but also lift him into Pharaoh's court, where his gift of interpretation saves Egypt and the surrounding nations. Joseph is the figure of providence quietly unfolding. He never rails against injustice. He never cries out against his brothers or captors. Instead, he carries the mystery of suffering with a patient endurance, trusting that God will turn what was meant for evil into good. Moses is the prophet of dialogue. His story begins not in silence, but in cries, the cries of Hebrew infants, the cries of a mother hiding her son, the cries of a people groaning under oppression. When God calls Moses from the burning bush, it is not through a dream to be pondered, but through a voice that demands response. I have seen the misery of my people. I have heard their cries. So now go. Moses wrestles with this God, protests, hesitates, even argues. Where Joseph was still and silent, Moses is restless and reluctant. And when Pharaoh resists, God speaks again, not in images, but in plagues, signs, and wonders. Joseph saves a family. Moses delivers a nation. Joseph reconciles brothers. Moses confronts empire. Joseph feeds the hungry with grain. Moses feeds the wandering with manna and water from rock. One mediates blessing through administration, the other through disruption. One sees the hidden order of God's plan. The other sees the raw upheaval of God's power. Yet both stories circle back to the same truth. God is faithful to his promise. Joseph preserves the seed of the covenant. Moses brings that seed into the soil of freedom, where it may grow into a people. What can we learn here? Perhaps that the work of God cannot be reduced to a single mode. Sometimes God whispers through dreams, teaching us to wait, to endure, to trust the slow unfolding of his providence. Other times, God thunders through dialogue, unsettling our excuses, demanding that we stand against injustice, even when we feel inadequate. Both are revelation, both are holy. Joseph reminds us to trust in mystery, that even in silence, God is working. Moses reminds us to step into the storm, that even in chaos, God is present. And perhaps the fullest image of Christ is found in holding them both together, the dreamer who bears suffering with quiet strength, and the prophet who confronts the world with liberating power.